Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Happy Hour. I have a bunch of friends joining me today, which is really exciting. We're just so thrilled to be back. We kind of took a little bit of a hiatus. I was away, and I'm super excited to be back here. I was looking at all the names of those of you who are joining us today, and I'm just thrilled. I missed you all. So without further ado, we're going to get started as a few more people continue to join our happy hour. We're super excited to have these wonderful friends with us here today. I have three people from Tourism Calgary. I have Nancy Jackson. There she is. And I have Marilyn Bell. That's Marilyn there. And then also Bailey Mullen. Hello to all of you. Thanks for joining us. These are great people who are supporters of Anderson Vacations. We work very closely with Tourism Calgary to put together amazing product that you can share with your clients. And today we're going to inspire you. I have another wonderful friend here named Karen Anderson. And yes, her name is by coincidence that it's the same last name as our company. And Karen's going to take us on this amazing magical tour, a food tour of Alberta. But before we get started on that, I'm just going to give you a little bit of an overview of what's going on and welcome all of you. So they're going to turn off their cameras for now, and you're going to be stuck with me for just a few minutes. So I'm super excited to tell you, many of you follow me on social media and may know that I just returned from a trip. So this is my first trip that I've taken since COVID hit. When COVID originally started in March, I actually was with one of my top agents in Tahiti, and we had to come back early, unfortunately, but we still managed to squeeze in 7 days of pure heaven and wonderful fun, and we were on one of the last flights coming back into Canada from Tahiti. And so this was my first time last week getting on an airplane, and I'm sure not many of you have done that. But I wanted to tell you firsthand about my experience of flying in Canada. It was really good, you guys. Everybody was super respectful, wearing their masks. And guess what? I was on 6 commercial flights, regular flights, and they were all full. All of the flights are full. There's maybe 1 or 2 seats on each of the aircraft. So that's really promising. And that tells me that people are starting to get their confidence back. I know things are not perfect. We're even getting a little bit of negative feedback on some of the social media channels saying, why are you promoting Canada right now? Because in some places the cases are going up. But as people are being more conscientious with social distancing and wearing masks, we're more and more confident that traveling within Canada is safer and safer. And I felt really safe. Excuse me, not for one moment did I feel uncomfortable. And as the borders start to open up, it's even going to be more opportunities for you to sell. So I wanted to tell you a little bit quickly about my trip before we get started. I went to the Yukon again. That was my 5th time, and the Yukon is open to BC residents and residents of the Northwest Territories. I don't know this for sure, but I heard a little rumor that it's very possible that other provinces will be opening up to the Yukon very soon. This product is amazing, and if you don't follow me on social media, follow me on my personal one, not my work one. I'm not really great at keeping that one up, but if you want to see some photographs, but you can feel really confident in selling Canada right now, wherever it's open. And the fact that the flights were full, you guys, means people are traveling. And if they're not booking through you, it's your job to tell them that you can book Canada. The biggest mistake agents make is not letting their clients know that you have the ability to do so. Now, before we get started, let's do some housekeeping. You know, we're going to have a prize at the end. So I just want you to pay close attention because we're going to have some hints throughout. When Karen is doing the presentation, the main presentation, she's going to give you some very good hints. So pay attention to those things, make some notes, and at the end we're going to have 3 questions. So those 3 questions will be about the presentation and about foodie tours, like the Alberta food tours. And then also, most of you know about the chat. And I try not to look at it too much during the presentation because I easily get distracted. But at the very end, I will look at it. We'll answer some questions. Let me know what you're drinking. I'll show you what I'm drinking in a minute on this wonderful happy hour. You all know, if you've been to these happy hours before, how I feel about food tours. I've mentioned many times that I love them. They get you to the heart of the city. And this is really important right now because what we're doing is we're featuring a local Canadian entrepreneur, and we want to support these Canadian companies because now it's more important than ever. So this is one of our great partners, and I'll introduce Karen in just a few minutes. But I should tell you, a couple of years ago, I did 9 foodie tours in about 4 months. Because I feel it gets you right into the heart of the city. You're with the local people. Yes, this time, right now, you might be wearing masks and it might be a little bit more distance, but you're still in a place where you feel that you're with other people. And Karen has really pivoted during this time. I know everyone gets tired of that word. Should I say adapted? Adapted her business to work with the COVID era, and that's going to work successfully as we move forward when we get rid of this stinking thing. And she's got some really great stuff. So let's get started. I'll jump to my next slide. So most of you know who I am. We switched up the photo today. My friend Julie will recognize this photo because she was in Tahiti with me. I am the Director of Business Development for Anderson Vacations, and I'm the luckiest person in the world because I sell Canada, and Canada is the most beautiful country in the world. And so I'm very fortunate because I've traveled from coast to coast to coast, even to the top coast, up to Tuktoyaktuk and you know, all those places. So I'm very blessed to be working with this amazing company, and I'm super happy to have Karen with us today. Oops, let me jump to the next slide. I'm not technically the best person. Okay, what are we drinking? Okay, so today we're drinking a Caesar, which of course is a Canadian iconic drink. This is mine right here. It has a lime and everything. Something I want to point out that I found this awesome rimmer. It's called Walters. You can get it at most grocery stores. I like it better than using seasoning salt. It's delicious. The one in the picture is actually one of my other Caesars I had in the past, and you will notice there's an oyster on top, and I know exactly who's on this webinar, this happy hour, who's going, oh yum, and who's going, oh yuck, but I love them. And in fact, I'm going clamming and oyster digging, or clam digging and oyster searching this weekend with one of the agents who I believe is on this presentation today. So Caesars, they were developed in 1969 in Calgary. There's a gentleman who worked in an Italian restaurant in, I think it was at that time called the Calgary Inn, but now it's the Westin. And 1969, the year I was born, coincidence? I think not. That's why I love these Caesars. And per year in Canada, over 350 million Caesars are consumed by Canadians. This drink has not really taken off anywhere else in the world. I mean, there's Bloody Marys and stuff, but those don't compare to what we have in our Caesar. So I'm having one of those. I hope you're enjoying something yummy. I'll check the chat to see if anyone else is joining me for a drink today in a little while. Okay, you know where Calgary is, but I'm going to remind you, of course, right there in Alberta. We love Alberta. We've done presentations on other parts of Alberta as well, and a little bit on Calgary in the past. So today we're going to do a little bit more. Of course, most of the provinces are open up to Alberta. I know that BC definitely is, and we are welcoming Alberta people coming over here to BC to visit us as well. And this is my special guest, the lovely Karen Anderson. Karen, if you could turn on your camera and your microphone, that would be fantastic. There she is. Hello, Karen.
I really got to update that photo.
I think it's a lovely photo. It's great to have you with us. Karen is the founder, president, and CEO of Alberta Food Tours, and she is amazing. She has really taken her business to the next level. And again, let's support local, you guys. I talked to Karen earlier today, and if any agents are going to be in Calgary or live in Calgary and they want to try her product, let us know. We can probably get you a little bit of a deal on that so that you can experience it, because once you try it, you're going to love it. So Karen, I'm going to let you take it away. I'll leave my camera on, but I will mute myself, and I will be the one. I'll be the one changing the slides. So if there's a mess up, it's me. It's not Karen. It's me. So welcome, Karen.
Thank you so much, Darcie, and to Pippa in the background. Thanks for setting up this wonderful slideshow. And to my colleagues at Tourism Calgary, who are a constant support. I really appreciate you. And thanks, and hello, everyone. I am not used to doing this, but it's kind of fun. And this is my new house. I just moved 2 weeks ago, and I'm pretty thrilled with it. And so COVID has presented lots of opportunities for me. That's the way I'm looking at it. I'll tell you, I started this company in 2006. It was just me for several years. And Tourism Calgary was really instrumental in encouraging me to grow my business. They kept saying to me, oh no, this is great. People around the world would like to do this when they visit. And as my son grew, I grew my business. I always said I was a momtrepreneur. And from 2006 to 2019, we went from just Calgary to expanding to Canmore and Edmonton in 2016, and then to Banff in 2018. So by 2019, last year, seems so long ago, we had 8 different tours on a public schedule in 4 locations in Alberta with 20 guides. We had 2 Canadian signature experiences, one called Banff Eat the Castle in Banff, in the Banff Springs Hotel, one of our most fabulous partners. And in Inglewood, we had Made by Mavericks, a real wonderful story of Calgary and then all the culinary mavericks that make that neighborhood so special. We also toured in 17th Avenue Southwest in Calgary, the Calgary Farmers Market, and the neighborhood I just moved into, Kensington, here in Calgary. And in Edmonton, we had 2 tours, in Strathcona, and then one in downtown. And then in Canmore, we had a Canmore tasting trail. So that all evaporated about March 12th. And we've done a few private tours for people's bubbles. And tomorrow I'll be going out to Banff, to the Banff Springs, to do our first tour back there. And I'm going to wear a mask for 2.5 hours, see how that goes. But, you know, we've got to get rolling again. And so for a long time, you know, I attend a lot of Travel Alberta conferences. I've attended Shift. And I've studied the tourism economy and economy in general. And I know that we're shifting from service-based industries to the experience economy and to the transformational economy ultimately. So there's a shift away from the service provider to the user. So I've wanted to disrupt my own company for some time. And so COVID has given me that opportunity. All this chaos is wonderful to make you stop in your tracks and rethink what you're doing. So how did I want to disrupt my company? I wanted to develop a flexible app that could be downloaded so that people could do an interactive tour and discover a community on their own, but still make connections. So we found a company out of Estonia, of all places, that had developed an app for corporate scavenger hunts. And we approached them because the app is GPS enabled. It's very easy to set it up anywhere in the world. And they had really creative ways to communicate clues to make a game. And so we were able to adapt the app, that's a good rhyme. And we've created a game that we call the Alberta Food Finder. So anyone that loves food and loves exploring, if you're a hotspot seeker, a cultural explorer, I think you're going to love this game. Families can play it. You know, it's a good girls' night out. It's a good, we can, you know, people can compete. If there's a couple, they can challenge several other couples. And everybody can stay safe while they do it. All the stores in Calgary, it's a bylaw in Calgary now, we have to wear a mask to go in. So everybody can feel safe. They can do this in their own bubble. It's $45, but 6 people can use 1 device. So it's going to be, I hope, very popular. And it takes about 2 hours minimum to do it, but there's no rush. You can stop and come back the next day if you've explored for a couple of hours and you've wanted to stop and shop or stop and eat at some of the venues. There's 30 clues, but 20 partners where you get free tastings, COVID-safe tastings, or discounts. So it's a very flexible game. One of the things that always frustrated me with my previous business model was that we had fabulous tours. But for agents like yourself, if your guests were coming to town and they didn't fit in our schedule, they couldn't take advantage of our great company and our great products. So this product, I'm really thrilled. It's user-centric and users will be able to use it when they come to town and when they want to activate it. So that's a thrill for me. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about why people would want to come to Alberta to eat. There's a lot of exciting places. We go to Italy to eat pasta. We go to France to try the cheeses. We go to BC to have beautiful salmon and seafood. What's so special about Alberta's food, and why do I want people to find it? Well, we have 7 signature foods. Beef, you've probably heard of Alberta beef. Why is it so good? Well, we have lush grasslands, and we have incredible, there's more cattle in Alberta than people. There's 5 million cattle in the province. So they do incredibly well here, and then the chefs know what to do with the beef. So there's tremendous gastronomic opportunities to eat beef here. Bison is the indigenous species of Alberta. Beef has been here for 160, 170 years. Bison have been in Alberta for 120,000 years, and they improve the quality of the land wherever they roam. Alberta is key to the survival of this species. There were only 400 left by 1909, thanks to the annihilation policies of the government at the early turn of the 20th century towards the indigenous people. So they were wiping out the bison to wipe out the indigenous people. But the Alberta government did something about that and they bought the last herd and brought them back to life. So now there's 500,000 bison in North America, and they all came from a herd here in Alberta. Canola is a $3 billion a year industry for Alberta. Canola was developed from rapeseed in the 1970s. Try to market something called rapeseed wouldn't go well. So Canadian oil, or canola, was the name that came out. So that's a big part of our cuisine here. Honey. Last year there were 38 million pounds of honey produced in Alberta. We're the 5th largest honey producing region in the world. We produce half of Canada's honey. We have long days. We have tremendous amounts of forage, alfalfa and red clover in particular. So Alberta Food Tours, we have 2 of our own beehives that we keep in the garden at Rouge restaurant in Inglewood. So that's a big part of our company, supporting the environment through our support of bees. I only got stung about 12 times this summer. Root vegetables doesn't sound very sexy, but our nights are cold here, and that causes sugars to concentrate in the roots. And so our root vegetables are sweeter here, and the chefs love to work with them. Red Fife wheat is another signature food. It's the parent wheat of many of today's spring wheats, hard wheat, durum wheat. But it all started with Red Fife wheat. It was the first wheat that would grow here without irrigation, and it is really responsible for the survival of pioneers. They wouldn't have made it without Red Fife wheat. So it's come back in vogue, and it's delicious. And the final thing, Saskatoon berries. They are also indigenous to Alberta, and they'll grow the whole way to the Yukon and the Northwest Territories. And the indigenous people used Saskatoon berries fresh, dried, ground as flour with bison meat and fat to make pemmican to get them through the winter. So these are the key foods, and you'll see them on menus all across the province, and we try to showcase them on every one of our tours. So I think we're going to start, and so you get a feel for the app. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we had a very talented videographer, Parfait Productions from here in Calgary, come out and make this video. So let's watch this video that Darcie's going to start and give you a feel for how it might feel for your guests to enjoy this app in Kensington neighborhood in Calgary. Oh, we lost the sound. Did that come through okay? Yeah.
I think it did.
So,
I had it, sorry, Karen, I think the first couple of seconds were muted. Sorry, that was my fault, but I think the sound came through okay after that.
so if we all play that game, we're all going to look that gorgeous. I'm sure of it. Maybe you already do. I've got some work to do. We had some really wonderful models come out and help us make that video 2 weeks ago, and they're all photographers, so they were all helping our one videography team. So they're just a tremendous community here in Calgary. But the point of it is that a girls' night out, a family with tweens and teens, a couple, well, anybody will enjoy this game. And as you saw, they were trying things, they were looking at the game, and they had to complete certain activities. It's very interactive. It has them discovering art and history. There's discounts. We have 20 food partners in this neighborhood. There's discounts or free samples at a lot of them. When you, the way it works is on our website, it's not on there yet because another COVID activity that I've taken on was to completely switch our website and ticketing system. So that is, they tell me, going to happen next week. So I suspect we're going to launch this. You're the first to know. So keep it hush hush for a little bit until we do our media release. I think it'll be September. Well, my birthday's the 15th of September. I think that'll be a good day to do the release. So probably about then. So on the website, Calgary or at Alberta Food Tours, there will be a sales page for the Alberta Food Finder app. People will read through on their mobile device. They'll need data and a fully charged battery, but they will download an app and enter the code that they've purchased from us, and they enter their team name, and they're ready to start the game. So do you want to go to the next slide there? And for each of the places that we're going to develop these games, there'll be a different background story or mission. But ultimately, you are the hero if you take this on. You are going to solve and save the day. So in this case in Kensington, there's a celebrity couple coming to town, and they've taken over the Hotel Arts in Kensington, boutique hotel with 19 rooms. It's just enough space for them and their entourage. And you learn about them and their likes, their family, their entourage, and you're on the mission to scout and get everything that they need to be comfortable. So they're great connoisseurs. So one of the second clue in the game involves stopping at Peasant Cheese Shop in Kensington. You might want to pay attention to some of these names because that's going to come back at the end of the tour today. But at Peasant Cheese, you are going to go inside and you're on a mission to discover a cheese that Dario Diva, one of the celebrities, will like. So we should maybe show that next slide there, Darcie. And we can start that. That's me going in.
Okay, we're at Peasant Cheese, and do you know what that means? To be safe, to keep guests safe, we'll wear a mask to go inside. No, we did take care. All right, I got to tell Adam the secret password. I'm an Alberta Food Finder. Now I get my cheese.
You get a choice of the sundown or the black currant. I'll give you a little bit of both.
Oh, how lovely. Can you see that beautiful cheese? Do you want him to hold it up? Isn't that lovely? And the guests will get it in a to-go container so they can enjoy it outside. It's hard to eat cheese with the mask on, right? So we're going to take that to go. You're going to cut.
Okay, do you want me to jump to the next video as well, Karen?
Yeah, the next video is a little out of sequence. It's a preview. We're going to talk about how to build a charcuterie board. So this is me starting to buy that, and then we'll skip back to how the clue ends. But yeah, let's go ahead and watch this one.
charcuterie board for you today, so I'm going to do a little shopping while we're here. Jeremy, could I have a little piece of blue, maybe this much? You pick your favorite.
Remember this one from France. But Sarita.
Oh, is it that? Very simple. Okay. Oh, sheep blue. Oh, this will be very fun to try. Love it.
Very little production.
Okay.
I'm sure I'm wincing a little watching myself.
There you go. No one likes watching themselves. That's okay.
So there we've completed our mission. I mean, we're going to watch this video where to complete the mission, I have to take a photo.
Okay, quick.
All right, we have gone in on our mission to find a great cheese for the celebrities, and now we have to approve it as part of the game. We have to take a photo. So the camera will come up. Oh, I gotta make it look good. And I just snap the photo, and then I want to approve of it, so I say okay, and then I say okay again, and it tells me done, great work. Peasant cheese is the perfect spot for the divas to get charcuterie boards, picnic supplies, or delicious cheeses. If the divas want to sample Alberta cheese, you can recommend Dancing Goats Farm or Old West Ranch for their water buffalo or Jersey cow cheeses. And then we just press OK. And the third clue, look, it's a coffee cup. Third clue automatically came up. So it's a bit like a locked room where you only get to the next clue if you solve this one. And then we'll progress through. There's 30 clues in the neighborhood. We have 20 partners for people to explore, and it's all just revealed as they want to experience it. They can stop and spend time at a place. They can shop and take lots of pictures. There's a contest to see who gets the most points each month. There's another contest to see the best Instagram post with the Alberta Food Finder hashtag each month. But that gives you a little idea about how independent it is, but how interactive it is. And it still meets the tourism criteria of connecting with our local culture.
Perfect. Do you want me to jump to the next one, Karen?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. There we go. Do you want to introduce
Oh.
us?
So I'm sure you're going to have more questions about how the app works. So we'll handle that in questions and answer time. But here's just a fun little video that Nancy Jackson from Tourism Calgary came to my new house, and we put this together for you because the long weekend's coming and you might want to build a charcuterie board.
Hi everyone, we're back. We've had a fun time out exploring Kensington, showing you how the app worked at Peasant Cheese. And now I'm going to show you what you can do when you spend a little extra time in the local stores and do a little shopping. I thought I'd show you how to build a charcuterie board. And I'll show you a way to use one of Alberta's signature foods. This is a beautiful honey. People don't often think about honey and cheese, but this is our very own Alberta Food Tours honey, and it is one of Alberta's key signature foods. We produce almost 40 million pounds of honey per year in Alberta. So I like it to drizzle it on a blue cheese with a nut and put it on a cracker and put all of that in your mouth at the same time, and it will be a taste explosion. So one of the rules when building a charcuterie board is to have a soft cheese, a blue cheese, and a hard cheese. And just to do something a little different, you could choose a brie, a camembert, but I've chosen a goat cheese that's soft, but a little bit aged and preserved with an ash washed rind there. So that's a sensational flavor. And this one, again, a little bit different. It's a blue cheese, but it's a blue cheese made with sheep's milk. And it's out of this world. And then the last one is a very familiar cheese to a lot of people. I could have chosen cheddar or Comte, pave, but I've chosen a beautiful aged Swiss Gruyere.
People like things in 3s and 5s. So if you're going to do a cheese board, do a soft, a blue, a hard. If you want to expand to a couple other kinds, just add 2 more. Don't confuse people. Here, I've also added a meat element. This is a VDG salami made here in Calgary. So I've just sliced it and, a little fork to invite people to take some. And then this is a beautiful pepper pate made in Canmore at Valbella. They're one of Alberta's premier food artisans. The crackers are made in Vancouver, and then this beautiful bread is made by Manuel Latrue here in Calgary. And then you see, just to finish off the plate and tie it all together, I've got some Marcona almonds that are roasted, and add some salt and some fresh blueberries. Just pick a fresh seasonal fruit. In the winter, you could do apples cut up, but we're at the end of the summer, so I've put in some nectarines and blueberries. And then I always like to put a little dried fruit as well. So that's it.
Sorry, you guys, something just happened to my system. I don't know if it's gonna, did it stall out for you there?
A little bit.
Okay, while that's figuring itself out, let's talk a bit about this, because I just want to clarify a couple of things while we're just waiting on my system. Hopefully it doesn't shut down on us. Okay, so first of all, if you've got guests who are traveling to Alberta or within Alberta, you can add this to any of your Anderson Vacations packages. And Karen, that charcuterie looks delicious. It's perfect. If you could hear my tummy, it was actually growling while I was watching the video. We can add this product to any of our city stay packages, as well as our self-drive packages that depart out of Calgary. So they should spend at least 2 nights, preferably 3 nights in Calgary in that area before they head out, say they're going to Banff, Lake Louise, or somewhere else. And this is a product that we want to incorporate into the itinerary. So we'll build that in through Anderson Vacations, and then they'll be given, we'll give a code that we'll get from Karen, and the code will be used in the app. So they'll have the app. So I'm just gonna break it down, Karen, the way I understand it to make sure that I understand it properly. That they will get the app and it'll go onto their phone, and then they'll follow the directions as you explained, going to each of the different locations, up to 30 locations. Is that correct?
Yes, and some of them are just really quick and just take 30 seconds or a minute. So, and then some of them they can choose to stay however long they want.
Okay, perfect. I'm just gonna see if I can forward to the next slide, which I'm having trouble with. And while I'm working on that, Pip, if you're on here, if you can pull up the PowerPoint on your screen, and maybe we can pull it up on your screen. Otherwise, because I've got some questions that I want to come up as well, but so sorry you guys, something happened with my system. It's doing the whirly thing right now, which I've never had happen before. But Karen, getting back to it, so as they go to each place, not every place will be a free food sample, but in some places you mentioned they'll get a discount code, so they can get a discount if they want to do some extra shopping in there to buy some extra things for their charcuteries, or if they're in a specific coffee shop and that kind of thing, they'll get those discounts along the way as well.
All the businesses that we partner with are independent. So Naked Leaf Tea Shop will give 15% off. There's a beautiful bee and honey store, 15% off. There's a brand new Good Coffee Trader, get 10% off. If they stop and have a main course, a pizza at Pulcinella, they'll get their house-made gelato and a coffee for free. At Eat Crow, they'll get a discount on magic fries, which are unforgettable. They truly are magic. So yeah, there's wonderful things. And then some of our partners like Hotel Arts Kensington, one of the grand prizes each month will give away brunch at Hotel Arts Kensington. For the best Instagram post, and Modern Steak is giving a steak dinner every month. So there's lots of fun prizes, as well as something at each of the stops and offer.
Fantastic.
So Crave Cupcakes, everybody loves Crave Cupcakes. So everybody will get a free mini when they go there. Pie Junkie will give a tasting. The Cheese Shop will give a tasting. So yeah, I think and for the kids, Gummy Boutique, everybody will get a little bag of candy. So I think that's going to be really fun.
I think we've lost Karen's sound. Hold on one second, Karen. I think we might have lost your sound. Give me 1 second. We've got some technical difficulties. Pip's taking over, so she's going to be able to control the PowerPoint. Thanks for your patience, everyone. You can hear Karen fine? Excellent. Keep going. Sorry, Karen. Keep going.
That's okay. Yeah, so I think that's nice for people too. You know, when we did our guided tours, it was very formal. We'd go in, sit down, we'd spend about 20 minutes or half an hour at each place, have a knife and fork tasting. But in COVID, you know, you can't do that with a group of people. And this way you can still have some fun tastings, but they're very COVID safe and thoughtful. And they're included in the price of the app. The slide that's up there right now is an Alberta vinaigrette. That was a
Karen, can you hear me? If you can
Yes.
you nod?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't hear anyone, so I'm just going to talk away, and we'll continue away. I don't know why my system's giving me grief, but I didn't hear anything that you just were saying. But I do have Pip controlling the PowerPoint now, and we're going to jump. Right now we've got the Alberta vinaigrette, and I think were you just talking about that, Karen?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, you were. Okay, Pip, if you can jump to the next slide, please, that would be fantastic.
Prize
Okay,
time.
now, Karen did talk about all of these things in the presentation, and so we're going to have these questions. You can answer them by emailing me now. We're also going to send these questions out to you afterward in the email, the follow-up email, so you can answer the questions then, and you have a chance to win. There's 2 amazing cookbooks, The Food Artisans of Alberta. So I'm also going to go to the question and answer to see if that works for me. Here we go. Okay, so Celine has mentioned that in Montreal, when they enter any location, they are given washed hand sanitizer. I believe that's the case as well in all the places that you visit too, Karen, is that correct?
Yes, they're very good about that. And I think most travelers now carry their own purse-sized spray as well. But definitely almost every place would have something right inside the door. And everybody has a sign on the door. You're not allowed in any public place in Calgary without a mask on.
Okay, when you nod, I'll know you're done talking because I can't hear you talking, Karen. I'm going to ask the next question. What if clients don't have a cell phone? How can they play the game without modern technology? I don't think that's possible with this particular. Hopefully in future times, they'll be able to enjoy the actual live tours as a group tour, small group tour, social distancing. Is that correct as well, Karen?
Yes. If they have an iPad, that would also work.
Perfect. And the app, what other locations is the app available in, or is it just Calgary at this time?
We're just starting in Calgary, and we're going to be also going to Canmore and Edmonton, and then Banff in the winter. We'll be working on Banff as well. And then I see it's really easy to scale it up so that we can plan half-day and full-day road trips for people.
And what if someone goes into one of the cheese places or some of the restaurants and they're vegetarian? Is there options for vegetarian or vegan, that kind of thing?
Absolutely. You know, Calgary has a reputation as a meat and potatoes place, but that's a lie. It's a stereotype. It's not true at all. And we've accommodated or featured vegetarianism on almost all our tours. Veganism is a little more challenging, but it's possible, and especially here in Kensington. And at the cheese shop, the owner is a chef, and so she comes up with the most creative tastings for people. So I would encourage vegetarians and vegans to try it out for sure.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I have a couple other questions here. Does the scavenger hunt take you all over Calgary, or is it only in Kensington?
It's just in Kensington for now, because you want it to be walkable. It's accessible. You know, Kensington is one of our LRT, light rail transit accessible communities, and it's a very tight community with just 4 square blocks. So we don't want people roaming too far. The idea is to intensely explore one neighborhood. The next neighborhood that we'll activate in Calgary is Inglewood. Same thing, it's going to be about a 5-block stretch. And so we want to concentrate it to make it a leisurely walkabout.
And the honey, it's from Calgary, it's not from Three Hills. Someone was asking if it's from Three Hills because there's a honey place in Three Hills, but is it actually from Calgary?
That honey that you saw in the video is honey that our 2 beehives in the garden at Rouge in Inglewood. That's honey that I extracted from there. And last year was not a great year, but this year we got 81 pounds of honey from our 2 hives. I just did that last week, and I'll be bottling it up this weekend. So yeah, our bees, we have 450 backyard beekeepers in Calgary.
Perfect. And are the locations predetermined, or does the user select which ones they want to visit?
The locations are in a sequence, so you have to solve one thing to move to the next, but it is in a nice walking path, and they can do the clue and not go in. They can go back and show the app to the business to claim the offer later, but it's best if they do it as it rolls out. And yeah, they're not going to, all 30 points do not pop up. It's one at a time. I hope that answers your question.
The max size of the group for the app, there is really any max, is there?
No, we're really excited about how scalable it is. We really hope to be able to do large group events and corporate events, mice events, because you can have, you know, the most people on one device would be 6 people per one device. After that, it would be not so fun. But if 5 couples wanted to play it and sort of challenged on the time, who got it done first, or who got the most points, if they each paid for a device, then they could play it as a challenge, which would be really fun. So I hope that answers your question. 6 people per one device for $45, or you could have several teams with their own devices challenging each other.
Perfect. Okay. There's some great comments I see here. Philip mentioning that he's remembers being a kid in Alberta and getting his root vegetables from Tabor, Alberta. And I remember my parents always saying that Tabor had the sweetest corn in all of Alberta. So that's interesting to see that. I think I've covered all the questions, a few lovely comments about the cupcakes and things. And I see, hello everyone. I love all of your wonderful comments. That's fantastic. I'm going to skip to, no, I can't skip to the next one. I'm going to get Pip to skip to the next slide because I am not able to. And I want to thank you guys not only for joining us, but for your patience today with the technology. I think it went a little heavy in my system. So I'll just quickly run over the last couple things. Don't forget that we're here to help you with our website, with our newsletters. You've got to sign up at andersonvacations.ca. Most of you that are on here, because you've received the invitation to our happy hour, have already registered. But if not, by chance you haven't, please do, to access brochures and things. And if we jump to the next slide, I think we have some more on there about our fabulous flat sheets. If you would like to promote specifically Alberta, Calgary, any of the provinces, and you want to work with us, we can do these amazing customized flat sheets. And agents who are really being proactive are doing this. We have an agent in Manitoba that actually had us do one in Churchill, and she booked 9 people to Churchill. So these flat sheets really work, and you can use them on social media and other things as well. Next slide, Pip, if you don't mind. And I want to thank all of you guys for your continued support. Karen, even though I can't hear you right now, I thank you so much for coming on and having fun with us today. And to our friends from Tourism Calgary, thank you all so much. We are going to be joining you again in 2 weeks. Cheers to you, Karen. One of our next happy hours, I can't tell you exactly what's coming up very next, but please stay tuned because we're planning a very special happy hour called Island Life, because I'm living on Vancouver Island, and we were going to be doing a hosted small group fully escorted tour for the fall that's not happening. So we're going to do like our own little virtual tour. I might take you clam digging, do some little fun things. We might even end up together in my kitchen, which was really exciting because I got to be in Karen's kitchen today. and you all got to see a little bit of that when you were doing the charcuterie board. My sincerest apologies for the little bit of a technical glitch there, but I'm getting some great feedback. People are really happy, Karen, that you've shared this with them. And again, we can build this into all of those packages. So please do think of this for any of your packages going to Calgary or even outside of Calgary. Have them spend some time there. We'll build it in and make their custom packages really, really special. Thanks to you all. Thank you, Karen. And I hope to see everyone very soon. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye for now.